Hi everybody, welcome to Friday Night Sports. It is my pleasure to have here at the desk with me tonight Ben Powell, head coach over at H.L. High School. And as goes in accordance, another coach in, another win tonight. You know, I was thinking, Coach Powell, at this point of the year, you can only be 2-0, and that's exactly what you are. Congratulations on the win against Ellender tonight. Final score 25-21, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
It was a game, and I did it on radio, that had flows. It was unbelievable. Right when we thought you guys had the momentum and you were going to kind of take over, Ellender would work its way back in. You guys would come right back in. You had some great special teams play on returns, but I guess we can't call it great because some of those plays were taken back. Talk a little bit about the ebb and flow of the game.
Well, it was kind of one of those games where, you know, you have a game that might have one special situation or two special situations. We ended up, it was a game of special situations. Timeouts, clock management, special teams, tip kicks, you name it, we had it all. But it was kind of one of those things for us when you talk about ebb and flow. We couldn't get into our groove offensively early on. We couldn't do what we wanted to do. Coach Washington and them, they're doing a good job with their defense and bringing the blitz and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of hard for us to get in the early rhythm, especially with our quarterback and our run game. But as it kind of went on, I think conditioning became a factor for our guys. Weight room became a factor for our guys. Our guys were able to dig deep and kind of impose their will on the other team, and you kind of saw that towards the end. We made some big plays defensively, and then our offense kind of grounded out at the very end of the game for us.
You know, I'm sure you want to go out in the game and just kind of take it over and take care of it. But a game like this kind of shows character. It shows you can dig down deep, like you said, and come back and win it, and you did that in the fourth quarter. Not only tonight, you did it last week also.
Yeah, we've done it 2 weeks in a row. Last week, it was as much weather conditions as opponent. We played a game, and the rain's literally going sideways on you, and you're trying to do your stuff, and the elements won't allow you. You know, you're even more limited. You know, you have your playbook and it gets smaller and smaller when you get a 30-mile-an-hour wind and it's raining in your face and all that stuff. But same thing, the character of our kids really came out. They were able to dig deep and stick to some real basic plays, and it got to the point where in both games, I think defensively, pretty much everybody in the stadium kind of knew what was going to happen and who was going to get the football. And we gave it to them anyway, and we still got our 4, 5, 6 yards, and were successful with those
Very
things.
good. We are going to look, of course, at that game in just a second. We also are going to look at, there were 3 games in Terrebonne Parish tonight. We're going to look at some games down in the Lafourche Parish, as Central Lafourche and South Lafourche were playing at home tonight. And we got out to Assumption, a big game, E.D. White against Assumption High School. But first, let's look at your game. This was at Tom B. Smith Stadium, a home game for you. Ellender against H.L. Bourgeois. Now it's actually the Evergreen cheerleaders out there pulling for you guys. Here we go, Juan Walker around right side, and I think he coughed the ball up here, right?
Yeah, we had some turnover problems early. Juan's a kid. He's going to put his shoulder down and try to run over you, but right there, you know, we kind of coughed it up.
Here's a big play, and this is a guy who, you know, I don't know if in high school you give out MVP balls and such, but this guy came up big for you a little bit later, and that is Darian Moore. On that particular play, it was good coverage. This is a guy, too. Bo Moore is a terrific punter.
Great punter.
He is a great, I'm talking about folks in high school doing a great job. Now, you're going to look at this and see Ralph Singleton return it, but what you didn't see, there's a block in the back, and it was actually thrown very early on this return. Now, to add to that, he spiked that ball, so there were 2 penalties on this.
He got excited and kind of
put him way back. So they didn't do anything with the ball. We're at 0-0 right here. This is at the beginning of the game. I say the beginning. We're moving into the second quarter. Here he is again, Darian Moore on a nice return. He gets you down inside the 20-yard line on this, deep in Ellender territory. And this is where you kind of established yourself just a little bit. Now, pronounce this young man's name, number 33.
Dustin Dozat.
Boy, he was a workhorse for you tonight.
Yes, he is. And he's been that way in the preseason, last week, this week as well. He runs the football hard. He's a good fullback for us.
You busted it up the middle a lot in this game, and if I'm not mistaken, there is Juan Walker who gets the honors, and that was the first points of the game. You had a little trouble on the extra point where there was a lot of pass rush at that time. And you go on to win this one. We had cameras all over the place, folks, tonight. As a matter of fact, Chris Carter, as a lot of you know in the area, our main camera guy, is actually in Michigan tonight with Nicholls State, as Nicholls State is taking on Western Michigan tomorrow night. But you go on in the final quarter of the game to pull ahead. Ellender was ahead at one time, 21-18. Actually, to get to 18, you had a terrific interception by the McKinley kid. Talk a little bit about that, because not only did he intercept it, he dragged the entire Ellender team into the end zone.
And we kind of talked about that, before the show. Tremaine's a great kid. He plays linebacker for us. He's also a running back for us. So it's kind of good. He's used to handling the football and all that kind of stuff in traffic. But he comes up clutch with the interception. It's on about the 6-yard line, and it really seemed like about 8 or 9 Ellender kids. They were on him, trying to tackle him, strip it, bring him down, and through the force of his own will, he plowed into the end zone. And that kind of that right there was the ball game. It was over at that point, because
the momentum went
it all swung our way. It I think it sucked the life out of them a little bit, and our kids were pumped up. It doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, we had to come back and go for it on 4th later in the game, but at that point, our kids were like, "Coach, we got this. We just give me the football. Whatever we got to do to win." So they were very confident after that drive.
The 4th down you speak of is actually with about 3 minutes left. Well, actually a little bit less than 3 minutes. Darian Moore goes up and makes a nice catch in the end zone where you guys go ahead. And basically Ellender does not threaten again after that. You got this job back in the spring, and it's been an adventure. You actually taught at Evergreen Junior High for a while. Talk a little bit about spring till now. Are you happy at the progress you're making with the program? Are there some setbacks? Where exactly do you stand?
Well, I don't know about it, setbacks. You always sit there and you've got your personal goals for your program, and you say, okay, I want to be here on this date. Here's my 6-month plan, year-long plan, 5-year plan, that kind of thing. But we've been putting in a lot of hard work, and we're 2-0. At the end of the day, there's some things we want to fix. We had some special teams kind of gaffes the last 2 weeks. That's probably one of our biggest weaknesses that we have to fix. But, when you only have 13 seniors and you're playing a lot of sophomores, playing a lot of underclassmen, you're going to have those mistakes. You're teaching a lot of situational football. So, when we come in tomorrow morning and look at the film and bring the kids in, again, there'll be more teachable moments, more opportunities to say, hey, look, son, you can't do this. This is not how the game operates. It's just teaching them how to play the game. So we're moving forward, and we like where we're at.
We mentioned this before we came on air. You are 2-0. That's all you can be in the state of Louisiana. That's the best you can be in the state of Louisiana. So it shows your kids that with the work they put in has paid off. We must say, folks, and I think you'll agree to this, Gary Hill agreed to this last week, Ellender is a much improved program.
No doubt.
I would like for those kids to see some success. They need to stick at this because they're going to get it. It's coming. There is no doubt about that.
And I've coached on and off in Homa the last 4 or 5 years. I was at Vanderbilt for a couple of years. This is by far the best Ellender football team I've ever seen. They have more kids out, kids playing hard. I've never seen, and this is a credit to their staff and their kids and their program, I've never seen an Ellender team play for 4 quarters like that. Just not backing down. Even when things weren't going their way, maybe in the past they would have slacked off or whatever, but they were coming together the whole time. Even when bad things were happening, they were overcoming a bad call here or a fumble or whatever it was. They just kept overcoming and just keep bringing it. So they're going to be successful.
I agree. And with West St. Mary coming up, Albany, and I think North Lake Christian, they have a good chance of going on a little run right there. Got to take commercial break. Going to come back. Terrebonne, South Terrebonne, Vanderbilt against St. Charles Catholic. We'll look at those games after this timeout.